Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sean Maynard today. Alika, pag-usapan natin itong mga naging resulta ng oral arguments dyan sa usapin ng PhilHealth. So, I think it was a 4 hours oral argument and sobrang ganda ng batuhan na pag-uusap nila. And doon mo makikita at maririnig. You know, why is it very important for us to listen dyan sa mga oral arguments na yan? Simple lang. It will teach us critical thinking. Tapos maririnig mo kung paano inaatake ng mga justices yung mga issue, 'di ba? Anyway, i-play muna natin yung intro natin din pag-usapan natin din. Sigurado akong malalim na malalim 'tong pag-uusapan. Ayun, maraming salamat. Anyway guys, even before I get into our topic tonight, no, meron akong mga gustong um, i-highlight. Ay, bakit ako pumupunta doon? So, yesterday nga po, no, nag-react po ako doon sa... Bakit hindi ako makapunta sa sarili ko? Dali nga. Ayun, nag-react po ako doon sa pagiging bagong USEC ni Attorney Claire. Doon po sa mga naiintindihan kung saan po ako tumatayo, sobrang thank you. Okay? Doon sa mga hindi, no? Yan gaya po nito. Makikita niyo po yan. Okay. Sa mga hindi po naintindihan yung point ko at saka yung stand ko, naintindihan ko po kayo and it's okay. Okay? Especially if you're a DDS na gaya ko. Gusto ko lang din ninyo maintindihan, di ba? Na may sinabi rin ako doon na if there's a need for me to question her, I will call her out. Huwag niyo po sana akong pangungunahan. Di ba? Gaya nung papakita ko lang ha. Nakita ko kahapon na sinusuportahan ni Yusek Castro yung what do you call that? Sinusuportahan niya po na magkaroon ng regulation ang mga vloggers. So, kahit ako, nagulat ako dun sa suportang ginawa niya. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi I expect her as a lawyer, no? Na mas ipaglalaban niya yung usapin ng tawag dito. Yung usapin ng freedom of speech, expression at saka of the press. Nahanap ko pa yung post ko eh. Ayan. Ito yung post ko yesterday. So kung makikita niyo dyan, question ko siya. Sabi ko sa kanya, ayon kasi dito sa Philippine News Agency, Palace backs bill versus fake news ICE registration of content creators. So meron din akong good news dahil nag-act na ang Supreme Court dun sa naging petition namin sa ginawa ng TRICOM. Okay, pinapa-comment na sila dun sa aming final na petition for certiorari and prohibition. Sabi ko dito, I think as a lawyer, yourself, Attorney Claire, you know for a fact that this is unconstitutional. This is so against Article 3 of Section 4 of the Bill of Rights. And you are not just a USEC, but as a lawyer. Hindi ba dapat ipaglaban mo ang karapatan na to? Wala pang naging batas na nagre-regulate even sa mga journalists because it against at unconstitutional to. Sabi nga ng mga taga-KBP, We are not a government agency. We are a private organization. This was during the first hearing ng TRICOM. So, kahit ako, no, kahit ako, gulat na gulat ako dyan na nag-comment siya nag-agree siya sa bagay na yan. Kaya, dun sa mga na-disappoint, nakala nyo hindi ako magkokomento kay Attorney Claire, well, here you go. Diba? This is not for a show, but kahit ako, I'm very disappointed to see this comment, to see this coming from her. Diba? Oh, Malacanang on Tuesday expressed support for filing a bill that would penalize the spread of false information. Palace Press Officer and PCO Undersecretary Claire Castro also suggested the registration of all content creators to stop the proliferation of misinformation and disinformation. Saan ako nagulat dito? Saan ba kasama si Attorney Claire? Diba sa mga grupo ng mga content creator na pinag-uusapan yung mga bagay tungkol sa politika. I also remember there was a time na tawag dito, creating UVIP. Ano nangyari sa UVIP? Sino ang nag-create ng UVIP? Diba nagkasira-sira din sila? Tapos may makikita kang ganito. Suggested for the registration of all content creator. Bakit? Lahat ba ng journalist? Registered yan? Diba? I even have a very long talk with the boys. And doon ako nalinawan sa sinabi nila sa akin. Kaya sobrang thank you ako sa mga kaarmado. The Teacher Mark, kila Kayo, kila No Nonsense, no, kay of course kay Mantemyong, pinag-uusapan din namin yan. Kasi ando ka sa crossroad eh. No? Ando ka sa crossroad. So, nagbigay sa akin sila ng insights, which is na-appreciate ko. Then while I'm reading all your comments dun sa, naiintindihan ko kayo. Kaya walang problema dyan. Kung gusto niyo mag-unsubscribe sa akin, it's okay. Wala tayong problema dyan. Gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo, huwag niyo po sana akong pangunahan. Diba? So, masaya naman ako na nakakausap ko kayo, lalo na sa pagsuporta natin sa Duterte Principle. Pero, tama din naman sinabi ng mga kaarmado eh. Diba? It's mission over friendship. Anyway, so basically lang, binigyan ko lang ng highlight ito, pero hindi naman si Attorney Claire ang topic natin for tonight. Punta na tayo sa ating main event.
Ang pag-remit ng PhilHealth.
So basically, yesterday, nagkaroon po ng oral argument between the Solgen at saka itong mga taga-Supreme Court. Well, yung mga justices natin. And doon, super galing na galing ako kay Associate Justice Amy Javier Lazaro. Take note, Justice Amy is actually the 2025 bar chair. So, bakit importante sa akin na pinapakinggan ko siya? Dahil dun ko marirealize kung paano ang structure ng pag-iisip ni Justice Amy. Na pwede ko sabihin sa mga magiging barristers namin for this year na ito yung ganito si Justice Amy. So kailangan ganito rin kayo mag-isip. para pag binasa niyo yung mga sagot ninyo, you somewhat like sound like her, ganyan. You somewhat loud. You somewhat like sound like kung paano siya nag-ano. Kasi guys, ganito yan. May facts, may issue. Then magkikreate na sila ng resolution. Yun yung tinatawag na health. Ngayon, ano ba yung issue? Ano ba yung facts? Yung facts dito, okay, nag-transfer ng pera ang bangag government papunta sa National Treasury. Ano yung rason nila? Kasi kailangan nila ng pera para punan nila yung mga projects. Pero ang nangyari, nilagay nila sa program. Ano yung issue? Legal ba ang ginawa ng bangag administration? So, dito na ngayon nila pinaglalabanan kung bakit hindi magiging accountable ang bangag administration. I think ito rin yung sinabi ni Solzen na hindi pwedeng kasuhan si bangag. 'Di ba? Which is true naman kasi may immunity siya. While he is the incumbent president, hindi siya pwedeng makasuhan. 'Di ba? So, sino pwedeng makasuhan dyan? So, kung halimbawa matalo ang administration through the Solgen, halimbawa matalo, ang tanong natin, pwede bang kasuhan si Bangag Jr. after na kanyang termino? Diba? O pakinggan muna natin to.
Sa oral arguments kanina, kinwestiyon ng Korte Suprema ang pag-remit ng PhilHealth ng 60 billion pesos sa national government kahit may utang pa ito. Nakatutok si Mark Salazar.
Sumentro ang Korte Suprema sa lagay ng pananalapi ng PhilHealth para masagot ang tanong, bakit nag-remit ito ng 60 billion pesos sa national government kung may mga utang pa? Si Associate Justice Amy Lazaro Javier ang humimay sa isyong ito.
Has PhilHealth paid all the recorded and recognized claims
Your Honor,
before it transferred the funds to...
Alam mo dito, no, while I was listening to the oral arguments, ramdam na ramdam mo yung inis ni Justice Amy Javier Lazaro. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi syempre pinag-aralan nila lahat ng dokumento eh. Imagine mo kung day in and day out, yan lang ang gagawin nila, magbasa, pag-aralan. Tapos ang nakakatuwa sa lahat nito, guys, kahit saan mo siya bitbitin, kahit saan mo siya dalhin, kaya kanyang questionin na hindi mo siya masasagot. At pag tinanong ka niya, alam niya kaagad kung ano sagot.
The Treasury.
Your Honor, in a certain cut-off date, Your Honor, definitely hindi ho. Natin mababayaran lahat.
Not all were paid,
Yes,
and yet you transferred the funds already.
Sa 2021 financial statement ng PhilHealth na inaudit ng COA, 1.16 trillion pesos pa ang bayarin ng PhilHealth sa
1.16 trillion. Imagine niyo, 1.16 trillion ang bayarin pa ng PhilHealth. Tapos nag-transfer sila ng 89.9 billion. That money could have been used to pay off certain hospital, several doctors, o kung sino man ang dapat bayaran ng PhilHealth. Trillion ng utang, tapos babawasan mo pa ng almost 90 billion yung reserve fund.
mga benepisyo, habang 347 billion lang ang asset nito. Ibig
Tang-inang yan, no? Diba?
sabihin, mahigit 816 billion pesos ang deficit ng PhilHealth. Sabi ng adverse opinion ng COA, hindi sinunod ng PhilHealth ang tamang accounting standard at malamang na mas malaki pa ang deficit nila.
Financial statements do not present fairly.
Alam mo, dyan ako bilib na bilib kay Associate Justice Amy. Alam mo kung bakit? Diba? Talagang in-scrutinize niya yung financial statement. O, pakinggan natin.
Financial position of PhilHealth. In short, the negative equity of PhilHealth may be way more than 816 billion pesos. Even if you double up your assets, they're not enough to pay off your liabilities.
Unti-unti namang bumaba ang
Imagine mo, 300 something lang yung kanilang yung kanilang assets. Tapos ang utang mo, almost nearly 3 times. Can you just imagine that? So kung halimbawa na bankrupt ang PhilHealth, halimbawa lang, no, i-liquidate nila yung assets nila. Will that even be enough? Gaya nga rin sinasabi ni Associate Justice. Hindi enough para mabayaran mo. Said na said ka na, hindi pa rin bayad yung mga utang ninyo.
deficit hanggang sa 26 billion pesos na lang noong 2022. Pero deficit pa rin.
From these assets, the law requires PhilHealth to set aside a portion called reserve funds, precisely to cover payments for the claims of beneficiaries. And that portion has to be used exclusively for the claims, to pay the claims of the beneficiaries. And if there is an excess, then additional programs should be set up. And if there is still an excess in the excess, then investment may be made.
Pero sabi ng PhilHealth, hindi naman sabay-sabay babayaran ng mga utang. Kaya
Hindi nga sabay-sabay, pero malaki pa rin ang utang. Diba? How stupid yung reasoning na yan. So ano yan? Meron mo yung portion ng utang mo, kasantayin mo na magbayad ulit yung mga members. Tapos, di ba, ang laki na ng utang, wala ka pa masyadong asset, tapos kukuhanan mo pa ng 89 billion, then hindi pa pinondohan ng 2025 GAA. Diba? Tinanggal yung subsidy ng PhilHealth ng 2025 GAA. Kaya nag-file ng kaso itong si Dr. Tony Lechon. Imagine mo, no? How timely it is. Ito yung nangyayari sa PhilHealth. Tapos tinanggalan mo ng pera yung PhilHealth, hindi mo pinondohan ng 2025. Pumasok ngayon si Dr. Tony Lechon. Sa tingin nyo, matatalo yung ikakaso ni Dr. Tony? Hindi. Alam nyo kung bakit? Pwede kasi pwede mag-cross itong issue ng PhilHealth, ng GAA, at saka yung kinakaso ngayon ni Dr. Lechon. Tama ba yung pagkakasabi ko ng last name yan? Lechon o Lechon? Diba? Ni Dr. Tony. Balik tayo.
niya itong punan na mga makukolektang direct contribution
See?
ng mga
See?
miyembro.
Requirement of
Asa sila sa direct contribution. 'Di ba? Doon sila asa.
the law, Your Honor, particularly in Section 11, reserve fund for a maximum of
Dito ako natawa dito. Kasi parang nililecturean pa nila si Associate Justice Amy. You don't lecture someone who knows things in and out. Pag-aaralan nila yan eh. Itong mga justices na to, hindi yan naharap sa'yo para magmukha silang tangat bobo. Haharap sila sa'yo nang baka ikaw pa magmukhang tangat bobo. Dahil pinag-aralan na nila yung kaso. Diba? Hindi lang nila pinag-aralan yan. Definitely may team yan na researchers. And what they're going to do, babasahin nila yung mga na-research, yung mga researchers nila, diba?
2 years, Your Honor.
Is the reserve funds just in paper? Are you not supposed to reserve real money? You cannot predict when people get sick.
Sabi rin ng Government Corporate Council ng PhilHealth, hindi mababang karote ang PhilHealth dahil sagot ito ng gobyerno.
It is the state insurance company. It cannot be insolvent because by law, the government of the Philippines
Hindi daw ba mababang karote? Mismong COA na nga nagsabi, it is already considered as bankrupt.
guarantees the financial...
That was the first, parang that was during the first oral arguments. Ha? Oh. Si Justice Amy rin na nagsabi nun.
viability of the program or the National Health Program administered by PhilHealth.
Sa labas ng Korte Suprema, nagpahayag ang mga petitioner kung bakit nila ipinababalik sa gobyerno ang 60 billion pesos na kinuha nila sa PhilHealth.
Kulang na nga yung pondo, binawi pa, no? Inabandon na ng gobyerno yung kanyang pananagutan na magbigay ng subsidiya para doon sa mga indirect contributor, mga indigent, no?
Exactly.
At ipinapapasan ngayon doon sa mga kontribusyon
Again.
ng mga maggagawa.
Diba?
Malinaw po
Again.
na hindi sa...
So imagine mo na lang guys, no? Dinakawan ng I mean if that is the right term, ha? Oh, kinuha na lang, let's be a little bit decent. Kinuha na ng pera ang PhilHealth, tapos aasa sila sa contribution ng mga tao. Oh, pakinggan natin tong isang part ng oral argument.
Is already fully funded under the category of
So when
funding a project that is already fully funded under the category of unprogrammed funds.
I didn't quite get the
Programs.
question,
Yes.
Your Honor. Pardon me.
Yes. Export-Import Bank of Korea has loaned the Philippines 174.49 billion plus. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded?
Projects
How
of the
can the government have removed this when it is a loan specifically for that purpose?
It is something that can be deferred, Your Honor, even
Yes.
if it's
What is the
funded.
reason for deferring it?
Your Honor, I cannot speculate on the
Correct.
reasons of the...
Kawawa dito si Solzen, totoo lang. Naawa ako sa kanya. Alam niyo kung bakit? Alam niyo kung bakit siya kawawa dito? Hindi niya kayang i-defend ang ginawa ng administrasyon ni Bangang dyan sa PhilHealth. Diba? It's not that he's stupid or no, hindi yun ganun. It's just that kahit siguro siya hindi niya maintindihan bakit kailangan yung gawin niya.
I go now,
congressman.
yes, to my next question. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded? So we have
Appropriations.
unused funds for the project, and yet we still got money from PhilHealth.
Pakinggan niyo mabuti si si Honorable Justice Amy Lazaro. Pakinggan niyo siya mabuti. Tunog na naiinis na eh.
Supplement this fund that has been unused for years. According to the DOF, the funds to be remitted to the National Treasury will finance urgent national projects. In Annex A of your compliance, dated November 8, 2024, pages 1 to 4, the OSG enumerated some of these projects, including routine maintenance of national roads, the Panay-Guimaras Negros Island Bridges, or the PGN Bridges
At
project.
yung nakita kong may nag-post eh. Itong project na to, project to ni Lisa Marcos.
Payment of right-of-way. These are all construction projects, Mr. Solicitor General, correct?
Not all of them, Your Honor.
All
Some
right.
of them pertain to health projects.
No, I'm talking about the routine maintenance of national roads, the PGN Bridges project, and payment of right-of-way, correct?
In a sense, they are
Yes,
routinary,
they are.
ordinary expenses.
They
Of
they
expenditures.
pertain to construction projects of the government, correct?
Infrastructure.
Yes. You can call it that. infrastructure projects. All right. With respect to the PGN Bridges project, per DBM's budget of expenditures and source of financing FY 2024 report, the PGN Bridges project appears to be fully funded by the Export-Import Bank of Korea in the amount of 174.49 billion plus. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded?
Ang tindi. Ang tindi. Imagine nyo, I really thought that PGN, is from started with PRRD. So basically, hindi. Okay? Yung PGN project na yan is Bangag Administration. Nakakuha ka na ng loan, kumuha ka pa ng pera sa PhilHealth to fund that, anong nangyari nga naman talaga dyan sa pera na yan, di ba?
Your Honor, this is a matter really of delving into the wisdom of the legislature in allocating funds.
Yes.
So when
funding a project that is already fully funded under the category of unprogrammed funds.
I didn't quite get the
Programs.
question,
Yes.
Your Honor. Pardon me.
Yes. Export-Import Bank of Korea has loaned the Philippines 174.49 billion plus. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded?
Dito hirap na hirap si Sonson. Dito sa tanong na to eh.
Your Honor, I think one consideration by the Congress in doing so is a determination of when a project is already implementable. So if a project that has already been identified and sufficiently funded is considered to be non-implementable for the given fiscal year, then I think it is the decision of the Congress in the exercise of its policy or wisdom, so to speak, to move it to the unprogrammed appropriations in the meantime.
Yes. All right. So has the government moved this amount to the unprogrammed funds of the government?
There are so...
This
sorry, Your Honor.
Export-Import Bank of Korea loan, has the government moved it to unprogrammed funds?
We will have to check on
Yes,
that.
please check on that.
Yes, whether that has been actually transferred only or removed altogether.
Yes.
Because there were certain removals made by the Congress in the proposed infrastructure or other projects
How
of the
can
government.
the government have removed this when it is a loan specifically for that purpose?
It is something that can be deferred, Your Honor, even
Yes,
if it's
what
funded.
is the reason for deferring it?
Your Honor, I cannot speculate on the
Correct.
reasons of the...
I go
Sabi ko sa inyo eh. Kahit paikot-ikutin mo, si Justice Amy, babagsak ka pa rin na hindi mo masasagot yung tanong niya.
now,
Congressman.
yes, to my next question. Has the government spent even a single centavo from that loan, considering that the project has not even started?
Well, there is nothing to spend for if the project has not even started, Your
So
Honor.
where is the money?
The money
Wow. Good question.
went presumably to the National Treasury for the purpose of using it for projects and programs under the unprogrammed
So we have
appropriations.
unused funds for the project, and yet we still got money from PhilHealth to supplement this fund that has been unused for years.
So when we
Funding
Galing. Bravo. Bravo. So kita mo, kitang-kita nyo guys, kung paano pinaikot ni Justice Amy Lazaro Javier yung kanilang pinag-uusapan. Pero nakukuha niya yung sagot na kailangan niyang malaman. Diba? Nag-loan ka for that project, tapos gusto mong ponduhan ang isang project na may pondo na. Project na may pondo na kinuhanan mo pa ng additional fund na hindi pa pala nagsisimula. So, asaan nga naman ang pera? Diba? Asan ang pera? So, sino nagpaikot niyan? May involved ba dito ang BBM, Office of the President, Congress? Sino-sino pa makakasali dito? Kaya nga gustong-gusto nila yung yung ginagawa nila para hindi natin pag-usapan ng PhilHealth. Abangan natin yung GAA. May impeachment pa. Ang daming very interesting na oral arguments na darating in the coming days. Tandaan nyo, yung mga petition about sa impeachment ni VP Sara, inuuna yun ngayon ng Supreme Court. So, hintayin natin kung ano yung mga susunod na kabanata. Which by the way, hinihingi na rin ng Supreme Court na sagutin ng House of Representatives, ng TRICOM, yung aming petition. Anyway guys, again, maraming salamat sa panonood. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, at i-comment nyo na rin yung thoughts nyo tungkol dito sa naging oral arguments between Solgen at saka si Associate Justice Amy Lazaro Javier. Nakakatuwa, nakakaaliw. Gusto ko silang pakinggan. Feeling ko nakakatalino. Diba? Galing sobra.